Welcome back, everybody. We are so excited about spending the next few minutes with you here at the beach, right?
Yeah.
And during this festive season of Christmas. And we do believe that everyone, and I mean everyone, will get something out of today's vlog.
As you know, we are PCB bound. In order for us to get to our final destination, we've asked ourselves some questions.
Absolutely. It is all financial. Whenever you head out on a trip, it's going to cost something, right? Absolutely. So when we realized and we committed earlier this year that we were going to be PCB bound, we realized very quickly to be able to get from here to there, it's going to cost something. So we asked ourselves a question. We formulated a question, and that is, how can we maximize our savings and minimize our expenses in order to get to our destination in a realistic and timely manner? Absolutely. It's a very, very important, realistic thing that we had to formulate this question. We had to get it in our heads. We had to realize it and just sort of let it sink down in us, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
After we formulated this question, it quickly dictated our objection.
It did, right? It really did dictate our objective. And that's simply to remove the things in our life that will enable us to get to our destination. I mean, it really comes down to that. It's just a bunch of obstacles. What in our life today is going to keep us from getting to our destination?
Right.
Now, it being a financial issue, in order to maximize our savings and minimize our expenses, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to save up to be able to make a move. As anybody else, you might have a security deposit to pay, or you may need to save up 10% for a new home, $10,000, $20,000 or what have you. So we need to do the same thing. It's no different. It's just that we're looking to move a little bit further, and we want to speed that process up. We want to streamline it. We want to simplify it.
Right.
That's what we want to do.
So we knew we had to change some things in our life.
Yeah, we had to change some things in our life, and one thing we have to do is we've got to get rid of our debt.
Right. We have to pay off our debt.
Absolutely. If we can pay off our debt in a timely manner, that's going to speed up and maximize again our savings. And I mean, what else is the thing that we're doing?
We're getting rid of material items.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Our current home is the biggest material item that we have.
Right.
That belongs to us. So we're getting out of this house. We're getting away from this debt. What else are we doing?
We have to get rid of our lifestyle, the way we live.
Yeah. Definitely our lifestyle. Again, and that's van life. We chose to do van life because it's a very minimalistic type of lifestyle. Again, living in a minimal way will keep us from being consumers. We can't consume as you would in a house because you want to fill up everything, and that's going to keep our expenses to a minimum.
Yeah.
Which is going to maximize our savings. So that's what we're doing with van life. Van life, again, is our go-to tool to maximize our savings because it's going to keep us and prevent us from being the consumer.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so this objective was very quickly dictated, like you said, out of that formulated question. And the bottom line is we need to simplify and streamline our lives. That's going to get us to our destination sooner than later in life. And that's what we're doing. That's what van life is all about.
Absolutely. So while we're at the beach today, and for the rest of the discussion, we are going to let you know the 3 things that need to be established.
That's right. There's 3 things that we suggest that you establish. 3 things that we're going to share with you that we've established, and we're going to continue to do until we get through this part of our life, and that's the material things. The first thing that we suggest that you establish is to establish within yourself the right mindset. That is, you need to start with understanding and realizing that you're going from here to there. Again, this is a top-down approach. It's the big picture. What would you say the next thing you can do to establish the mindset is?
And that would be not hold on to material items.
That's a big one.
Those
That's an
things will hold you
emotional one.
back.
Absolutely. If you really think about it, it's a psychological process.
Yeah.
Because what we consume, we attach ourselves to these objects. We attach ourselves emotionally. We attach ourselves sentimentally to these things. Do we not?
Yeah, we do.
I mean, what's one thing that you've found that you've been attached to in this process?
Interestingly enough, it would probably be my plants.
The plants.
Watching those plants be sold and go out the door.
Yeah, that was the hard
That
one.
was hard.
She's a good green thumb, and she nurtures and takes care of the plants. But we found all the plants a good home so far.
Yeah.
We have.
I have one at work.
Yep. So yeah, you have to make sure in order to establish a mindset, one aspect is to, again, do not hold on to material items that are going to hold you back. Because remember, the objective here is to get from here to there. And so these things are transient. You can replace them. A couch can be replaced.
There
A
will be
plant.
plenty of plants in PCB.
Absolutely. I'm going to buy you a palm tree.
Better. I'll hold you to it.
A third thing that we can do to establish, or that you can establish, in order to establish a mindset is this. Again, it's all about maintaining the big picture and staying focused on the destination. So the first thing was to understand and realize that you're going from here to there. And in doing so, you have to realize not to hold on to material things that are going to hold you back.
Right.
Because you can't drag all of this along, per se. If I go to work and I turn on the key in the car and I start the car and I head off to work, am I taking the whole house with me? No. If we go to the beach, do we load the whole house up and do we go?
No.
No. And if we were to move from one home to another, we'd probably clean and purge before we moved. But, and I say but, because we've chosen van life, it's a small little home.
Yeah.
So we can't take everything with us. So we can't hold on to those things. So if you're going to prepare for van life, it's something you need to understand. It's something you got to realize. Again, it's a mental thing.
You only take with you what you really need.
Absolutely. It's all about minimalism when it comes to van life.
The second thing we suggest you establish is a rule of thumb you will abide by.
Yeah, that's very important. We came up with a rule of thumb, and in order to help govern our behavior when it came to letting things go materially belonging to us. I know that's a lot to say, but there is a rule of thumb, and a rule of thumb requires commitment, because if you have a rule of thumb, that means that's a decision-making process, right?
Right.
So if I say our rule of thumb is, that means it's going to require some commitment to follow through with that decision. Now, so you know, you go ahead, you tell them what our rule of thumb is.
If you can't take it in the RV, then it can't go.
Ouch, right? So again, see, it
Yeah.
requires commitment. You saw that, right? Right.
Right.
So simply put, our rule of thumb is simply, if you can't take it in the RV, it can't go. Which means everything has to go,
Pretty much.
right? Because we're going to live a streamlined, simplified, non-complex, minimalistic lifestyle. Absolutely. Because why? It's going to maximize our savings, minimize our expenses, speeding up the process from getting from here to Panama City Beach.
Right.
And that's our objective, to not hold on to anything and to get rid of everything that holds back from doing that. Again, if you maintain the big picture way up here, see yourself on Panama City Beach. We're at the beach.
This is the beach. Sunny out. That's why I got my glasses on.
All right, so those are two things we suggest that you establish when making a decision for van life, right? The third thing that we suggest that you establish is a sorting order. Obviously, you have to get through a lot of things materially belonging to you. The first thing that we suggest in order is a higher priority, if you will. The first thing you can do is sell everything you can.
Sell everything.
Just sell everything that you can. Why? Because that will bring income to pay off your debt, which again speeds up the process. So you see the connections we're making here. What's the second thing that we suggest they do for a sorting order? You have sell everything, and then what?
Donate.
Donate, absolutely. Donate what you cannot sell. So sell everything that you can, and then donate what you cannot sell.
Take it to Goodwill.
Take it to Goodwill. Give it away for free.
Yep.
What happens when then you can't donate anymore?
If Goodwill doesn't take it, then we'll throw it away.
All right, so that's our third thing. We're going to sell everything that we can. We're going to donate what we cannot sell. And then that puts us in a position to then throw away whatever we cannot donate.
Right.
Absolutely.
There's some things we'll keep.
Absolutely. And that leads us to a fourth point here. Sell, donate, throw away, and then we're left with the things that we're going to keep. Whatever we didn't sell, whatever we didn't donate, and whatever we didn't throw away, we're going to obviously keep some things. What are some of the things that we can keep?
Our mementos.
Yeah, mementos, pictures, things that cannot be replaced. In other words, maybe some vital records like maybe a marriage certificate or a birth certificate or your social security card, or maybe something like a will or something that just can't readily be replaced, something that we kind of store. It's more precious to us. Mementos, maybe grandma gave you this or maybe your mom gave you that. There are certain things that can't be replaced. Maybe an anniversary present, maybe something I gave you or that you gave me. But these are things that may not fit into the van, but that's okay. Because those things that we are going to keep, we can do what with them?
We're going to rent a storage.
Rent a storage. We can store what we can't take on the RV. And that's that's actually what we're going to do. I've been looking at a 5x5x10. It's a climate controlled storage unit. It goes for maybe $25 a month. You can't beat it. And it's twofold. Not only can we store those things we want to keep, but we can stage our summer clothes, we can stage our winter clothes, and we can switch those things out knowing that it's a climate controlled space. Obviously, we're not going to keep all of that in the van, even though we're minimalizing. We're still going to have to switch something out.
Right.
We can also keep all of our beach gear and anything else that we might want to store that we're not going to keep in the van. We're not going to be wanting to trip over coolers or chairs or.
Because this hat ain't going nowhere.
The hat ain't going nowhere. Absolutely. We're not taking the Christmas tree with us. This is just temporary, by the way. But hey, we're in the festive season, obviously. So, we're doing beach. We're doing beach with Christmas. That's what we're doing here. So, again, these are just 3 things that we suggest that you establish within yourself. Obviously, a mindset. The second one was a rule of thumb to govern what you're going to do with your things. And 3, come up with some type of sorting order. We suggest that you sell, donate, throw away, and then lastly, keep. And whatever you do, keep that can't fit in the RV, then you're going to store it away. There you go. I don't know about you all, but I've had a pretty good day at the beach with Christmas in the air. It's been a pretty nice day. Not too sunny. Not too cloudy.
It's a little sunny.
Temperature's pretty good. We're a little bit chilly because of the cold weather outside, but hey, you know what? We're at the beach. It's all good, right? Now, obviously, we've covered a few things today. And I believe that, you know what? It applies to everybody. If you're not choosing van life, or you are choosing van life, or you're choosing a trailer or a Class A, or maybe you're just going to a home, or maybe you're just going to another apartment, or maybe you're moving around the world, still these very basic fundamental things that we talked today are just very fundamental to how we think, how we decide, how we move through space, how we decide what we keep, what we don't keep. So this really applies to everybody. It's sort of universal in that sense. But with all that said, we want to challenge you all as we close today's vlog out. We want to give you a little challenge.
Yeah, give them a little challenge.
So the first thing that we're going to challenge you to is what?
To think outside the box.
That's right. Are you willing to think outside the box? Because choosing van life is thinking outside the box. For us it is. And if you're preparing for van life, are you willing to think outside the box? To do something that is, and that brings us to number 2, which is what?
You willing to get out of your comfort zone?
Exactly. So it's one thing to think outside the box, but two, are you actually willing to get out of your comfort zone?
Like,
Because
yeah. It
living,
was, yeah,
yeah, right?
it was not easy to do that.
It's a process. It's a psychological, mental process. It's all about perception.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about it, we're only living in this little space on the beach at one time. We're not living in the rest of this 2-story house at one time. We can only be in one space at one time. If you're in a Class B or Class A or how big or how small, think about it. You're only living in that particular space at one time. So if I'm in the back seat of our Class B, I'm in that space. If I'm in the front seat, then I'm in the front seat. If I'm using the restroom, I'm in the restroom. But again, I'm only able to live in one space at a time. So think about it. Is it really out of our comfort zone, or is it a matter of perception?
Right.
You know, so that's something you have to think about. It's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a third challenge for you, and that's what?
Yeah. Are you willing to step out in faith?
That's right. It's all about commitment. Remember, this requires commitment. So are you willing to commit and step out in faith? It's one thing to be willing to think outside the box. It's another thing to be willing to get outside your comfort zone.
Right.
But the third thing is walk it out. Walk it out in faith.
Faith.
Actually, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Like Nike?
Like Nike. No, we're not.
They're not paying us to do this.
No, they're not
right?
paying us to do this, and we exempt ourselves from that. But anyways, so the bottom line is, are you willing to step out in faith? And that's what we're doing. We've already committed ourselves to doing this. That's why we're sharing all this with you. We have been through this process. We're going through it currently,
Right.
and we have a little bit of a ways to go. So we just want to give this back to you. This is our life. This is very real for us, and we're just doing it.
Right.
So we're PCB Bound, and we appreciate you all tuning in. We hope to see you next time, and we're PCB Bound.
PCB bound. We're doing it.
So subscribe
Hit that like button.
and click that little bell and get those notifications when we post and upload our next vlog or next episode. If we start to do a season, I'm sure we will eventually. But anyways, click that bell, smash that like button if you're so inclined, and most importantly, subscribe and actually watch what we're doing. Watch what we're doing and share what we're doing, and we will see you next time.
Bye.